Nintendo has arguably the largest roster of beloved game franchises. There's Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, Metroid, Luigi's Mansion, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Wave Race, Excite Bike, 1080 Snowboarding, F-Zero, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Mario Sports, Box Boy, Chibi Robo, Donkey Konga, Custom Robo, Yoshi, Mother, Wario Land, Fire Emblem, Kid Icarus, Mario Party, Nintendogs, Advancing Battalion Wars, Nintendo Land, Picross, Pokemon, Splatoon, Hyrule Warriors, WarioWare, Pilot Wings, Xenoblade, Sin and Punishment, Rhythm Heaven, Punch-Out, Tamagotchi, and probably a few others I'm forgetting. With the Switch selling very well, especially compared to the Wii U, and with some new IPs as well, Snipper Clips and ARMS, you'd think Nintendo fans wouldn't have much to complain about, but as you're about to find out, we like to complain about anything. The Switch isn't a bad console at all. There is a lot to play on here, and it's one of my favorite consoles of all time, if not my #1 favorite. But even though there's all of this to play, I can't help but feel disappointed in Nintendo's recent announcements. Take Zelda for example. Breath of the Wild has done extremely well and is absolutely beloved by fans. So to cash in on all the Zelda hype right now, you'd think that Nintendo would port over Wind Waker to the Switch. It makes perfect sense. Most of the work is already done for them since they made an HD version on the Wii U. There's very clearly an audience for it. Wind Waker is probably one of the most popular Zeldas, and they could just make a Switch version, charge $50 for it since it's a slightly older game, call it a day, and sell a ton of copies. Instead, they announced Skyward Sword HD, which is dumb because A. Skyward Sword is one of the least popular Zelda games. B. It's a Wii game, so they have to put more work into it than just porting over a Wii U game. C. They're charging $60 for it, and a lot of people are very clearly not going to pay that much for a game that came out 10 years ago. So why isn't Nintendo making the games people actually want?
Hey, that's the name of the show.
There are definitely some people that like Skyward Sword, but Wind Waker is by far more popular. If you take the number of copies sold of Wind Waker HD and divide it by the number of Wii U sold, you can see that around 17% of Wii U owners bought this game. If you do the same to Skyward Sword, you'll see that around 4% of Wii owners bought this game. Therefore, Wind Waker is more popular. If you look at Switch games, it's the same thing right now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is currently the best-selling game on the Switch, selling over 33 million copies, and doing that you'll see that around 42% of Switch owners have Mario Kart 8. That is insane. If you look at a few other games on the list, like Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and Luigi's Mansion 3, they've all been purchased by over 10% of Switch owners. So it makes sense for Nintendo to make sequels to these games, since they very clearly would do well. But instead they make this, and whatever the hell this is.
That sounds pretty darn good!
And even some games on this list, like Breath of the Wild, that are getting sequels have been sidelined for worse projects. I'm not saying that all I want on the Switch is Mario and Zelda. I'm glad stuff like Fire Emblem Three Houses is on the Switch because there's an audience for it and it adds some variety to the library, even if I don't personally enjoy it. But it's a win-win scenario for Nintendo to make games like Mario Kart 9 and Luigi's Mansion 4 as well. Nintendo wins because people will very clearly buy these games, and we the consumers win because we get the games that we want. Instead we get titles like Octopath Traveler 2 and Splatoon 3, even though they sold a fraction of the copies Mario Kart has so far. I just kind of wish Nintendo listened to fans more because it would benefit everyone involved, and when they port over games, I wish they would pick ones people actually want brought over, like Samus Returns. I think the way to port over games from older systems is what Nintendo did with 3D World. They added online multiplayer, the characters move faster, they added snapshot mode, and an entirely new expansion, Bowser's Fury. I don't feel like I'm getting scammed paying $60 for this game. Again, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be stuff like Bravely Default 2, but there are even more people foaming at the mouth for games like New Super Mario Bros. Switch, Nintendo Land 2, and especially Mario Odyssey 2. But me whining about it isn't going to change anything, so I guess for now we're stuck with Skyward Sword instead of the good one.